So it's been a very cold morning for me today, and I don't know how your weather is where you are joining us from. So you can comment in the chat box or you can unmute your mic to speak. Good morning, Rashid. Welcome to the class. Good morning, Elizabeth. Good morning, Lawal. Good morning, Messi. So today we have our amazing proprietor in the building. We have one of the one of a kind of a human being in the building with us today. So our proprietor is going to be the one taking us on top at me today. And I know it's going to be an amazing and exciting class. I can see people already cheering them up. Good morning. Okay. Sadi, I'm greeting you from the chat box. Good morning from Lawal.
Right. I'm trying to get a couple of people. Oh, how now? How you doing, sir? Good, 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 good,
Yeah.
good. Right.
So you can take it off from here, sir.
All right. Brilliant. So it's great to have everybody here. Oh, good morning. Well, Elizabeth, well done. I can see the way you've been taking, you're taking these things seriously. Hopefully, it's making a difference in the way you think, in the way you approach, things in itself. So, Rashid, also, good morning. How can we get some more members of our class? I pretty much only have three people here. How can we get more people? Do you want to put it on the chat room? I want to talk of one of the things I want to talk about is the role of artificial intelligence in public administration, right? So, please, let's try and tell others. Do you have a friend in Transformation College? Do you have a cousin in Transformation College? Do you know anybody at all? Can we just try and speak to more people? There's a lot that I want to get done today. Okay, so please let's work to um let's work over the next couple of minutes to bring more people onto this call. Okay, I know we've literally come to the end of the semester. I think we only have one more week. Am I right? Is this the last week of the semester? Is this the last class?
There's one more week.
Okay, so what is going to be covered in that last week?
Research methodology.
Right. I mean, so please tell whoever that is going to be covering that the person has to look at um the use of AI in doing ethical research. Okay. So the use of AI when it comes to doing ethical research. So from next semester, we're going to infuse artificial intelligence into any and everything that we are doing in the organization, into our teaching, into the way we're approaching many things. So it will be good for the for us to start from this semester. So artificial intelligence is like we're starting the use of computer again. It's like we're starting the use of computers all over again. So it's good that we start now, that we start to talk about where does AI come in with everything. If you don't become an AI expert, I promise you, you will not have a job in a couple of years, right? So everybody, one of the things we're going to be talking about, I'm sharing a link, maybe Edith or Damola, you can get us the full article, how the UAE is reshaping public sector innovation. So we don't cover these topics purely from a what's that thing called? Purely from a curriculum or syllabus perspective. That's not what we're trying to do. We're not trying to cover things just because it's part of the curriculum or it's part of the syllabus. We're covering these things because each of us, we need to get better. We need to become better professionals. You and I need to become problem solvers as it is. So we're going to take a different approach from next semester to the delivery of our classes. We're definitely going to take a different approach. So please, uh, get people in. We have way more students than the number of people that are represented here. So it'd be nice to get some more people to come in to join. Mustafa, thank you very much for joining us. It's good that someone like you that you're here, you're in Abuja. There's a lot that can be done in public service. You and I, as consultants, as problem solvers, because that's who we are, right? We're problem solvers. So it's like, all right, so it's important that we get this right. Can somebody help me log on to that Medium website? Say you have to have an account before you do this. I can't remember my own username and password. I put a link in the chat room. I'm going to put it again in the chat room. I want you to download the entire document, right? So that we can review it as part of this session. Because the essence of this is not just for us to cover the curriculum. I hope everybody understands. So, Faisha, maybe you might help me, Mustafa, or you can help me. We want the entire article so you can copy it and put it into a Word document and then turn it into a PDF and then share it on the group. You can and then share it on the group. So it will be great to have everybody here. So yeah, so once again, we're going to look at a lot. The entire essence, everybody, of public administration, the entire essence of public administration is that the government should be more effective and efficient. That's the entire essence of public administration, that the government should be more effective and also more efficient. That's the whole essence of public administration. So if you're missing that bit, you will come in here, we will talk about public administration, but you would have missed out on a lot of things. And one thing that must be gotten right is how can artificial intelligence help the our country, Nigeria? How can AI help us? AI for agricultural, for national agricultural transformation, everybody. AI for national agricultural transformation. AI for public hospitals and healthcare administration. What kind of project would you like to be involved with? And everybody, will you like to be involved in education? Education? Would you like to be involved with everything that or anything that has got to do with food? What about AI for public transport effectiveness and efficiency? Everybody, pick your own project. What kind of project do you want to get involved with? Right? AI for public transport effectiveness and efficiency. Will you like to be involved with AI for um housing, housing provision by the government? These are the kinds of things, everybody. So which one do you want? agricultural. Which one would you like to be involved with? Right? AI for education, education provision. Where do you think Nigeria is, everybody? Education provision. Where do you think Nigeria is? Do you think we're even close by any chance to to start to think? I don't know. You can't say administration, everybody. Administration is too broad. That's what I'm saying. Administration has got to come down to something. You've got to pick the area of administration. So, is it AI for tax management? Is it AI for tax management? Is it AI for uh revenue, right? Is it artificial intelligence for revenue generation? Is it is it AI for the, what's the word now? Should we say the achievement, let's say the achievement of we of female rights, right? So we can call it the achievement of female rights, right? So this is what this public administration class is about. This is what this public administration class is about, right? So we're going to look at that. What exactly is public administration? Why is public administration a big challenge in in Africa? This is not just a Nigerian problem; it's an African problem, right? Dubai has an AI strategy, right, for public administration. Dubai has some kind of AI strategy that can be used or that will be used or is being used, right, to achieve efficiency and effectiveness of public service. You and I, our future is bright, everybody. Our future is what? Is blindingly bright. Honestly, our future is bright. Nigeria, Africa still has a long way to go. Honestly, Africa still has what? A long way to go. So there's a lot. You and I, we're in a great place. We're in what? A great place. As at today, we're in a great place. That you and I, that we're alive and that we're well right now. Oh, we're in a great place. We're in a beautiful place. We just need to be a bit more, what's the word now? Be a bit more strategic in how we are approaching everything. It's the opportunities, when I used to look at it, I'll be like, you know what? Nigeria, all the money is gone. Dude, Nigeria is just about to start. So the public administration in Nigeria still has a lot to do and a long way to go. So you should be saying congratulations to yourself that you're alive. Honestly, brothers and sisters, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Muiwa, thank you for coming in. Sarah, thank you for coming in. Sarah, please tell Kaima and Esther they should be here. Okay? They should be here. This part of this conversation is also part of sustainability. Well, Mr. Muiwa, Bright should be here. Because when people don't understand some of these fundamentals, then they start to struggle when they're speaking to clients. I've been talking about artificial intelligence for effective and efficient um, uh, public administration. Honestly, this is a good time to be alive. I'm telling you, we congratulations that you and I that we're alive right now, because the world is about to go through a massive transformation. So anybody, I'm telling you on this call, if you allow yourself to be left out of this entire AI revolution, you will you will have yourself to blame. You have to start to really think. I can't remember where I was speaking recently, and I was saying that everybody must have their own. I had an event. Yes, it was this week. I had an event this week. I will look for the what's that thing called? The link to the event. I'll look for the link to the event. The title of the event I had is AI in public, the governance and management of AI in public and private institutions. Let me put that link in the chat room. Okay. So all of you that you're here, my question to you, Rachel, thank you very much. Thank you. My question to all of you, is that do you have uh, your own personal AI skilling up strategy? I'm asking you now because if you don't have that, attending this course will not really help you. You need to have your own personalized AI strategy, AI career strategy. Let me put it very well. So, everybody, answer me in the chat room. Have you documented and articulated your own personal AI career um, upskilling strategy or plan? Everybody, do you have that? Your personal AI career upskilling strategy or plan. You need to have that. Everybody, if you take nothing away from this session today, you need to have that. So please, everybody, tell me, do you have yours? Are you thinking along these lines, Mr. Edward, Sarah, right? Everybody, are you thinking along these lines? Rashid, Mr. Miwa, Mustafa, right? Are you really thinking, Mobolaji, that, along these lines? How do you build, right? Mayowa, Elizabeth, right? Even Edith and Mercy, everybody that is on the call. What is your personal A, artificial intelligence career upskilling strategy and your plan? It should be documented. It's not just a thought, it's not just an opinion, it should be documented. All right. So I think I have said that, and because Mr. Muyo, every organization, that's what it is that they're going to start asking for. This is what they're going to start asking for. That, during their interviews, they're going to start asking people that can you articulate how you can use and leverage artificial intelligence for the work that you're going to be doing for them? They're going to start asking these types of questions. They're going to start asking these types of questions during an interview. That this your job, this your role, this function. Do you know how to use artificial intelligence to make it a bit more effective and efficient? Felicia was working on something recently, and I was asking her that where are you going to inculcate artificial intelligence into this thing that you're working on? Right? If you plan to have a career, if you still if you still plan to have a career, the one thing that is going to significantly help and change your life is going to be artificial intelligence. So, Mustafa, please call Faith into this conversation. I'll make it quick. Today is not going to be a long day. I've even taught this course in the past. So, Mercy or Edith, whoever is here, please share the link for the last public administration class that I took. So, we're not doing this for a long time. And I'm not going to go ahead to repeat everything that I had said in the past. There's no point doing that. The session that I took in the past is available on YouTube. So they will share the link and people can take advantage of that since I've done it in the past. But today, I want to deal with it from a different perspective. I think all of us, we have a massive opportunity when it comes to transforming, right? Transformation of public services. As I said, our future is so bright, everybody that is here. All of us, our future is blindingly bright. The only challenge that people have is that they don't take enough action, right? Government services will need to be transformed. I promise you, someday, yeah, people that are taking these types of things into keen consideration, we are the leaders of tomorrow. And I'm not even joking. You and I that are taking these things into keen consideration, we are the leaders of tomorrow. Tomorrow will not exist without you and I. I'm telling you. So let's know that our future is so bright. It's so bright that even you should even be worried about the brightness of your future. The only challenge is that a lot of people they don't take these things into they don't action a lot of things. But I'm telling you, brothers and sisters, the future is ours. There is this institution, right? Mustafa, if I were you, I'll be speaking to them and I'll go to them and I'll introduce a course to them that talks about, and that should be, that is why me why saying that where is bright. Because if it was here, I'll create a course. We have the course already, and we can go to them and say to them, we how do we partner with you to infuse and inculcate artificial intelligence into your curriculum? They have this thing whereby you can go as a graduate to something to you become a fellow of the institute. You should be speaking to these people. Meanwhile, Training Heights should be speaking to these people, planning and introducing a course to them on artificial intelligence for the provision. So let me put it here on my screen, right? Because the opportunities are there, right? The uh, the transformation of public administration using AI. This kind of conversation, somebody needs to be having it. Okay, sir, somebody needs to be having it with them. You can be talking to them about the inclusion of AI within the curriculum, the inculcation or other the inclusion or how to inculcate artificial intelligence within the curriculum. Okay, so within the curriculum, because the people they are not yet there, and so you can be the person. Each of us that is here, we must all be known for artificial intelligence, except we don't plan to have a career, right? Except we don't have plan to have a career. Everybody should be known for AI in their field, in their sector, in their industry, whatever name we want to call it, right? All of us, we must be we must be intentional about this. So, anyways, because I was looking on their website, I couldn't even find their what's that thing called, the curriculum for the each of those areas. But I know that these people are not really thinking about artificial intelligence, and these are meant to be the people that are driving the future. As I said, look at this, everybody. All right, look at Dubai. And Nigeria could have been Dubai. We've made so much money from oil. We could have been Dubai, but we don't have um we don't have the kinds of leaders who can say that we're going to make turn this country into Dubai. We've made so much money from oil as a country that we could have been Dubai, but we're not Dubai. We're far from being Dubai as it is. So that's it. Let me also say this, right? This is really what public administration is about, but a lot of people don't think about it from that perspective. Public administration really is about, there is a public administration in reality, right? Public administration is actually equal to the achievement of SDGs. Yes. What is public administration is what? Public admin, right? A lot of people have done this in school, but you see, the lecturers, they teach our lecturers are not doers. I hope you know that, right? Our lecturers are not doers in Africa, right? Our lecturers, they're not doers. So the role of the government, and it doesn't matter what level of government, whether it is at the federal, at the states, or local level, the role of the government is to effectively, right, and efficiently provide public services to its citizens. Really, that's what it is. A lot of you here in school, you did public administration, you did that course, but they didn't explain it this way. Government is meant to provide food. Am I right? Government is meant to ensure that the people are not hungry. Government is meant to ensure that the people are not poor. How can you? It's only an irresponsible government that will not care if its people are poor. What is the definition of that? Maybe less than $1 a day. Right now, we can't even be talking about that. Right now, we'll be talking about less than maybe 20p or something per day. Government is meant to provide healthcare services. Am I right? Government is meant to provide education services. Government is meant to ensure that female rights are are are, are are adhered to or are protected, right? Female rights are protected. Government is meant to ensure that there is clean water. Government is meant to ensure that the physical environment is clean. Is clean. Government is meant to ensure that there is electricity. It's the role of the government, right? Government is meant to ensure that that there is trade like that. Government is meant to ensure that they can partner with private institutions. That is why people run to Dubai, because that's why people run abroad, because the government in those locations focuses on the provision of these things to their people. So this public administration that we talk about, this is really what it's about. But people don't associate this what I'm talking about. They don't marry them. People don't realize that the role of the government is to achieve SDGs for its people. Government is meant to ensure that there is justice. right? That the rule of law, justice, and then the rule of law is maintained. That's the job of the government. Government is meant to ensure that policing is appropriately done. Government is meant to ensure that that they don't kill um everything under the sea and on the ground, or right, on the ground. That's the job of government. Government is meant to ensure all these things. Okay? Government is meant to work to ensure that the climate is not destroyed. That's the job of government, everybody. So public administration really is about is about go is about the government at whatever level. That's what public administration is. And as I said, everybody, where can artificial intelligence come in here? I we I mean I think Training Heights needs to become the number one AI training company. That opportunity is there. The opportunities there. People can push, people can shout, people you can drive it. If I was younger and I would just focus on artificial intelligence. And there's no better place than Africa, no better place than Nigeria, no better place than Ghana, no better place to really start to talk about these things and to ensure that you can work on them. You cannot go to Dubai right now. You and I will now say we want to go to do artificial intelligence. We can't go to United Kingdom. They've already gone past us. The place that needs these types of things is Africa. Africa needs this. People need to be talking about artificial intelligence and how it can be used to drive the provision of these things. If you listen, let me show you something. The last time that I took this class, I was saying that, okay, so look at this manifesto. We're still thinking of like the people of the past. Look at this manifesto. Is this manifesto SDG? Everything here is SDG. Everything that is here is SDG. There's an alignment between SDG and everything that is here, right? So an extra layer is to start to speak to the ministries and the parastatals and the agencies of the government and the directorates that are in charge of these things. And you cannot go there to start to tell them about the past, but you can go there to start to talk to them about the use of artificial intelligence to enhance these things. If you're a student of Transformation College and you're not in any of those free AI classes, because they still had AI sessions yesterday. In fact, we've broken the AI sessions into two. The one that is for technical people, people who want to build AI tools, and the one for people that are normal people, ordinary people, everyday people like you and I. The one that is for accountants, for HR people, which is the AI for business analysts. We still had a brilliant session yesterday. So, but look at it. So everybody is talking about public administration, but very few people are talking about the inclusion or the injection of uh, uh, of uh, of artificial intelligence into this. If you look at it now, look at this was Atiku's plan. This is SDG. Look at it: power, housing, poverty alleviation. But you can see that we're still thinking like people of the past. We're still in the past. We're not yet talking about how do we aggregate data and things like that. Same thing. Go to same thing. Look at everything that they've written here. Nobody's really thinking how do we use artificial intelligence to achieve these things. Look at corruption and the rule of law. Everything here is inside of SDG. But the people, they don't think about these things that this way. They think that because there's no point writing a manifesto. The manifesto for the world has already been written inside of SDG. You can just take the SDG and now interpret it specifically for your own country. Right? Nigeria has a document. Everybody go and check it out online. It's an available document. Wait, look at the way we're thinking. year 2015, because this is public administration. This is public administration. Nigeria has ministries and agencies and parastatals that are in charge of everything here. Are those agencies, are they working? Are they effective? And that's why I say, if your company starts making shoes, you don't go to the place where everybody they wear shoes already. You should ordinarily go to the place where the people are not wearing shoes. That is why Nigeria, Ghana, it is still an open field. You and I we're going to be the leaders in this country, in this Africa. I promise you that. If you take these things into consideration, at some point in time, if you leverage artificial intelligence appropriately, people are going to be looking for you. They're going to sit down to say, how can we do national or state things, and then they will be calling you. So this is important as it is. So, but yeah, that's, as I said, I'm not going to try to teach the class that I've done in the past, but I mean, these are some of the things we did as at then. What exactly is public administration? What are all that? As I said, you find all this online. Africa has its own document. Africa is not thinking about an AI revolution. Right? So we're still in the past. But if we're ever going to get out of this thing, it's going to be you and I. It's not going to happen automatically. It's not going to happen on its own. It's you and I, where you have to be having the conversations. That is why it's important for us to be in these types of sessions. It's going to be you and I. If Nigeria, if Ghana, if Africa is going to be fixed, it is going to be you and I. All right. So let me go back to some of the things I wanted to talk about today. As I said, right, you have that. So, I mean, if I was saying to somebody recently, I said the nature of education has changed, but a lot of people don't realize that. Okay, because what is on my screen is directly from ChatGPT. Okay, so most Nigerian lecturers will not be able to lecture any longer because the man is saying something standing in front of them. Everybody has got ChatGPT on their phones. So as he's speaking to them, they're cross-checking some of the things that he's saying. And because ChatGPT is aggregating billions of data sets, the people will trust ChatGPT more than they trust their lecturer. Now, a lecturer can only teach now based on experience, not based on knowledge any longer. That is why we keep talking about the difference between knowledge and skills. Okay? ChatGPT can give you knowledge, but skills will only come from experience. Most lecturers will not be able to lecture any longer because when I went to university in Nigeria, I don't know about you. When I went to a university in Nigeria, the lecturer will bring a textbook into class and he will not allow us see the cover. I don't know about you. He will put the book right side up so that it's the back that we can see. In fact, some of them used to, can you remember, they will wrap the textbook with newspaper so that we don't know the book that they're quoting from. These are Nigerian lecturers. That's how it was done when I was going to school. We will ask the man, and this is still happening in Nigerian universities. We'll ask the lecturer. I don't know if any of you have had any of these types of experiences as it is. We will ask the lecturer. We will ask him that he should give us a typed out or even a written note. He will say no. He will come to class and start dictating to us. And then he will write on the board. We will not be able to see what he has written. If you don't write very quickly, he will go and then wipe the board. That is how I went to school, and I didn't go to school 100 years ago. So I'm talking about some 26, 27 years ago, some 30 years ago. That's how they were teaching. And guess what? I still did a course in a university in Nigeria last year, and they're still teaching that way. Not realizing that the nature of education has changed. The people have ChatGPT. They all can they all can query ChatGPT that will bring answers from everywhere. So everything that you can see on my screen is ChatGPT. The only difference that I'm going to bring to this conversation is my experience. And my experience is what gives me skills and expertise, not just knowledge. And I think Training Heights, Transformation College, we need to understand that the nature of education has changed. You can't call people now and start to tell them that the definition of something, they all have AI. They have it on WhatsApp. They can check the definition themselves. And their definition most likely might even be better than yours because the version that they're getting is aggregated from different places. But ChatGPT can only give you the experience of people broadly. It will not give you my specific experience. So if I'm telling you the things that I've seen in Nigerian government, right, in Ghanaian government, and the specific things that make them not to be effective and efficient, ChatGPT might not be able to give an accurate set of answers like I can because I work with the government, I work in government. I was still with the Federal Research Council of Nigeria some weeks ago. I have a completely different experience from just general aggregated data. So from ChatGPT, I only typed into it, give me some of the key topics and themes in public administration, and brought me this. So if I come on a call like this and I start to read to you public policy, you can read. You're not illiterate. You can read. You can see. But I can tell you sort of specific things. I can say that this is the big challenge you have with performance in in the public sector. Some of the public sector organizations, they still don't have adequate computers. So that means they still have data inside of big hardcover books. Now, how can such an organization that has not translated all its data onto applications, how can they use artificial intelligence? Artificial intelligence is data driven. I can tell you specifically what politics means, right? In such a way that ChatGPT might not be able to give you an answer. I worked with a government institution in Ghana that when a new party came into place, they sacked everybody, relieved everybody, even the cleaners were relieved of their jobs. Now, right? ChatGPT might not be able to tell you something specific like that because that's coming from my own experience. That even the cleaners are relieved from their jobs. I can tell you somebody who used to be in one of the government institutions, he used to be director of HR. And when a new government came into power, they moved, no, director of IT, I beg your pardon. They moved him to training school, like to go and sit down in the training school to do nothing. There is a government institution that we're working with right now. They have about 50 plus special advisors for every department in the organization. They have a special advisor. So that means in that organization they have a director in every department, and they have a special advisor to the big boss there for each of those departments. They have 50 something special advisors, despite having 50 something directors already. I can tell you specific things like that. I mean, so some of these things, the nature of education has changed. People cannot come on a call to start to read to the people everything. I'm telling you, some weeks ago, I was in a university because I go to one of the Nigerian universities, and this is a private university. In the room where I was seated to make a presentation, I was working on something, and the lady there was reading out notes talking about digital marketing. How can you be reading out notes to your participants with regards to digital marketing? If I was a lecturer in that school, the first thing I would have done, I would have said, you will not come into my class if you have not done the Google digital marketing exams. And we've been running Google digital marketing courses in Transformation College. before the class, I would have given them a prerequisite to come in for my class. Now, all of them must have passed those Google exams. And please drop the flyer for the Google exams. Drop it in the chat room. Now, I had some months ago in the organization, I had 4 digital marketing uh, interns into the organization or associates. I had 4 of them. Before we hired them, I gave them the 10 Google exams that they must go to sit down online and do it, and that they must pass 6 within a month. Actually, I told them to pass 10, but minimum 6. And some of them did it. And this was before we gave them their employment letter. In fact, the employment letter was uh, was dependent on them passing some of those Google things, because we didn't want them to come into the organization and then we have to start to teach you what does SEO mean, what do tags mean. We're not a school, we're an organization. So the people, if you want a job with us, you must have been able to build the discipline to sit online and pass the digital marketing courses. So the nature of education has changed. And training nights needs to realize that, Transformation College needs to realize that I cannot come here and start to tell you. So some of the key things, and I start to read it out to you, you can read yourself, right? You can. You all have WhatsApp, you all have, all of you have ChatGPT, but I can bring a certain perspective that is based on experience into this conversation. So you have to think about the state where you're in and say, what are transportation services, road services that we have? How good are they? Water services, how good are they? Public education services, how good are they? Which of the public services in your state, in your country, in your locality is effective? These are the kinds of conversations. This is meant to be a transformational session where you and I are thinking like problem solvers. These are the kinds of things we need to start to teach people, even in secondary schools. If I was younger, if I was in training nights, I will launch a secondary school AI transformation training. And I will send a mail and a letter, a physical letter and a brochure to every secondary school that is in a private secondary school that is in Lagos, around me coming to educate their 13, 12, 13, 14-year olds on how to use artificial intelligence for better learning and education. So these are the core themes. Look at all the themes that are here. And if you look at it, it says, oh, performance, politics, accountability, public value, public policy, right? In itself, bureaucratic structures, comparative public management, digital governance. And then when I said policy areas, they've talked about the principles of public administration and understanding government function. What is the job of the government? To make laws and to protect the rights of their citizens. So this public administration is not a course like what you did in year 1 or year 2 or year 3 or year 4 or year 5 if you are in social sciences, because those people were teaching you definitions. Even the curriculum is very focused on definitions. If you follow some of the things in the curriculum, you will see things like this, right? Oh, you will see it will say types of public administration. Oh, there is private. Oh, type. Yeah, there is public. There is this. It will tell you, okay, classical public administration, new public administration, postmodern. These kinds of things is how we went to school. Very, very much focused on the what did they put in the curriculum. Look at this is Nigeria. Look at our ministries. Each of these ministries will cease to exist, maybe in 10 years, maybe in 20 years. All of them need to transform using artificial intelligence and machine learning. So when I'm speaking to Mustafa and Bright and some of the people that are seated in Abuja and even the people that are seated in Lagos that are working with the Lagos state government, our future is really bright. Honestly, our future. Can you imagine going to each of these entities and sending them an email that you want to hold a free workshop on how to transform their organization using artificial intelligence? Do you know the kind of audience you're going to have? As in, for real, do you really know? the people are going to listen to you. They're going to answer you because artificial intelligence is like something that is mythical, right? It's like a myth, and it's not only mythical, it's also mystical, right? For a lot of people. So if you're here, this public administration, you need to go away from just definitions and just start to really think that how can you and I solve problems? I'm a problem solver. I think like a problem solver. I act like a problem solver. I plan like a problem solver. I think about myself everywhere I go, everybody that I speak to, interact with. I'm always thinking about how do I solve problems. And once again, this is important and this is essential. This is what public administration is. And you and I now need to be speaking about public administration reloaded. And if we're going to talk about public administration reloaded, it is the inclusion, the adoption of artificial intelligence inside of public administration. You should be seated in Lagos State speaking to them about AI. You should be seated in Abuja. You should be seated in Ogun State. You should be seated in Ondo State speaking to them about artificial intelligence. All right. So once again, I'm not trying. I mean, look at the curriculum. The curriculum define, examine, explain the scope. Yeah, we have answers to all these things. I've done this in the past. I'm not going to spend your time and my time. Please, they will share the link in the chat room. Go and look at what it is that I did in that class. This is the slide that I use, but I've included some things up front, right? I mean, I like to always talk about 5 M's of management. The problem when it comes to public administration is that most organizations, most public institutions are poor stewards of national resources. That's the problem. They are poor stewards of national resources. National resources are just being wasted everywhere. They're poor resources they're poor stewards of national resources. So this is a big challenge everywhere. How can you go to help with regards to this? Sometimes when people tell me about cybersecurity and all those things, they'll be like, what is cybersecurity beside artificial intelligence? Like, are you kidding? Cybersecurity is in one area, artificial intelligence is in every area. Our government is a poor steward of various types of resources. Very poor steward. That's why our economy is this bad. Sometimes I feel like maybe I'm already like 100 years old by age. That's how I feel sometimes. Like maybe I'm 100 because in this my lifetime in running a business, I used to trade, right? And I was a full-grown man with employees, with a car, and I was doing dollar to naira at $100, 100 naira to $1. I was already trading. I was supplying Cisco boxes, Microsoft licenses. And in this my lifetime, I am now doing 1,600 to $1. And I'm not even 50. So how did that happen? How? The government is a poor steward of various types of resources. Once again, think like a problem solver. Like, think like a problem solver. How can you and I solve this problem? We have to be able to solve the problem because that's where that's where our money is, that's where many things are also for you and I. Everybody, in one of my sessions I said this, right? Of course, you don't really need to know about me to know where I am. So everybody in the chat room, what are you? Left or right? Everybody, let me hear from you because that's how you see the world based on everybody. Please come to the chat room, everybody, quickly. All right all right Oh, I mean, Nigerian universities are going to struggle. Nigerian universities are going to struggle. All right, Nigerian universities are really going, and these are both private and public institutions. Well, who is here now? Let me see who is here. Uh-huh. uh Okay. Femi Olujare is here. He's doing a course in a Nigerian university. I actually know his university right now. I can bet you that you can use ChatGPT to answer every. ChatGPT will do a much better job than almost all the lecturers, right? I can bet. Femi, share with your experience because in that same school, I go to teach. I'm a researcher in that school, and the people are still are still using some. And this is a private university. No, I don't agree with the people saying both. You must be 70 a 70 30. No, you tell me you're 70. Of course, all of us are both, but we're 70 somewhere. Where are you 70? Where you 70? So Covenant and me, why is a lie? You are not 50-50. None of us are 50-50. Even I am both. But you're going, I'm definitely 70-30, right? Ah, aha, okay, good. Covenant, yes. Every other person, others now, answer me. Eh? Richard says definitely more on the art. Benga says more on the science. Asia says right. Mustafa says right. Okay. That is, I mean, this thing, don't you understand how it creates a problem even in marriages, right? Even in marriages, when somebody is still, and this has nothing to do with what you studied in school, everybody. This has nothing to study. You might have gone through school and you might have done science and even did further maths and all that, but that does not mean uh, you're not art. Your line of education or education might be left, but in you as a person, your natural inclinations might be right. So people sometimes look at it to say, "Oh, this is how I went to school." But nah, school, you and I studied whatever it is that was available, at least for most people. Okay. So this causes problems in marriages. Yes, Mustafa. Yes, for those that are married, because when the one person is completely left and the other person is right, both of them really need to understand each other. You have to understand that, oh, you know what? In your wife wants to hang a decoration everywhere in the house, right? She wants to put one nice thing here, and you're thinking functionally because you're left brain, while the other person is right brain. Okay. Anyways, it's good for you to know where you are because you'll be able to think like that, right? Left versus right. It's a beautiful exercise. I think it's a great exercise. I think everybody should know what it is that they are naturally disposed to. Once again, all of us are mixed. All of us are mixed. But I think you should know what you have a natural inclination for as it is, right? So in public administration, you have to understand that there are two things. Am I right? There is the public side, then there is the administration side. There is the public, and then there is the administration. That administration is not different from the administration that you learn while you're in in if you work for a bank. On the administration side, it's the same. Everybody, I have one slide here. Where is that my slide? I have one nice slide that I always tell everybody. I mean, if you want to be a good administrator, I'm not sure it is here. Okay, good. This is the slide. It doesn't matter whether you're in private or public, if you're in a private or in a public institution. All of us need these skills. So everybody, let's do this exercise again. I've done for you that you have been in my class before. We've done this before, but let's do it again. Right? Everybody, pick tell me, give me the numbers in the chat room. Your strengths, so your strength can be one and two, and then tell me your weakness, maybe four and five. Everybody, I want to hear your answers. Everybody, tell me your strengths. Give me the numbers that describe you. Everybody, I want to see that. Everybody, everybody, I want to see that. I have more people join me now, but I want to hear from everybody. What exactly are your strengths? Everybody. What are your weaknesses on this page? Everybody, I want to hear from you. Now, oh, I have Esther join us now. Brilliant. All right. Uh, Zach Pasu, well done. Zach Pasu, thank you very much for being here. I have Esther Kaima has joined us. Great. Thank you very much, Mr. Binga, Mr. Femi. Thank you very much for taking out of your time to be here. So I want to hear from everybody. What exactly, where here is your strength? Everybody, right? What is your strength? Give me two that you consider to be your strength and two that you consider to be your weakness. Everybody, quickly, I want to hear. Oh, okay, it's covenant, right? Okay, good. Everybody, your strength and your weakness. Make it quick. Everyone, everyone. Quick. Give me them. So for me as a person, what will be my strength? My strength will be number one and number two, for me as a person, my weakness will probably be, let me say, maybe I'm looking for my weakness. For lack of, what did they call it? Let me put 3 and 8. So for me as a person, one and two, one and two are my strengths. Okay. Uh, uh, 3 and 8 are my weakness. Everybody, 3 and 8, they are my weakness. Right? So everybody, it's okay. Miwa has written his own. Richard has written his own. Right? Who else is here? Tell me who else is here. All right? What's your strength? What's your weakness? Very quickly. Very quickly. Okay, Esther, 8 and 4. Right. Okay. Mustafa says the strength is 2 and maybe 6. Okay. Okay. Everybody else, right? Who else is here? Come. Tell me, what's your strength? Where are the areas you need to improve as a person? That's your weakness. You must identify where you're weak. You must identify where you're weak and where it is that you need to improve. Where are you weak and where do you need to improve upon? Okay, brilliant. My point, everybody, is it doesn't matter whether you work in a private institution or you work in a public organization, it does not matter, right? Whether you work in a, all of us need these skills. Am I right? All of us, we need these skill sets. I wrote these things in a transformation college class. We're having a class like this, and I wrote these things out. We all need these skills and these capabilities. It doesn't matter whether we work for the government, we work for a private institution, it does not matter. All of us, we need these skills. So everybody can build an improvement plan because this if you're going to be a great administrator, then these things must be a part of you. So everybody here should have an improvement plan, right? So where is the one area that you must improve upon in the next 6 months, everybody? Where is the one area you must improve upon in the next 6 months? Where is the one area you must improve upon? Okay. Where is the one area you must improve upon in the next 6 months? Right? Where is the area? Let me hear from everybody. Where where is your improvement plan? Where must you get better? Right? Mustafa says 5. Okay. Rashid says 4 and maybe 6. Right. Okay. Who else? Here. All right. So my point is, whether you work for government or you work for a private institution, team says 4 and 5, you must improve. These are the things that make you great when it comes to administration. All right. When it comes to administration, these are the things. There is no way. If you like, go to Harvard tomorrow. Can you somebody drop the link for me? Harvard has something called the School of Public Administration. Can somebody check for me? Uh, 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 for me quickly. Where is the link for the Harvard School of Administration? I believe they even have something called either the MA or the MSc in Public Administration. And I'm telling you that the kinds of things that they teach in there, somebody please drop a link in the chat room and also look for the content. What is the content of that Harvard School of Public Administration? Mhm. Okay, so people once again, they there's something called the democratization of education, right? The democratization of education. So there's so much democracy that has been built. Like you can even do better than the people that are in Harvard. The only difference is if they bring a professor that has a lot of work experience. Because if I mean we're looking to do a sustainability event, and my heart's desire is to bring Fashola to get him to hold that sustainability event. In fact, what I want to do for the event is for him to come and talk about that his book that he wrote. What's the title of that Fashola's book? Because ChatGPT cannot give you what Fashola knows. ChatGPT cannot give you that. ChatGPT cannot give you what Sanwo-Olu knows because they have experience. Now, education has to be something you can provide that ChatGPT cannot provide. Did you hear that? Real uh, education has to be something you can provide that ChatGPT cannot provide. So these things are different now. These things are different now. Okay? It's different. It is very different. Let me move away from here, everybody. Let me move away from here. So, yeah, every time you go and speak to maybe a manager or an assistant director or a director in government service, it's because the person is struggling from one of these areas. Is because you tell them to articulate things, they might not be able to articulate it properly. You listen to them, they write documents, they write a strategy, they do all sorts of things. The reason why people are struggling to do their jobs in government is because of the lack of these things. Imagine if you and I had a program. Imagine if we have a program that we can build, and that program, thank you very much, Mercy. Everybody go and look at what they're teaching in Harvard, even when it comes to public administration. Imagine if you and I had a program. Imagine we were that we can go to every government institution to teach them these 12 things. And then they make it compulsory that every manager, every senior manager in government must go through the course and they must be able to demonstrate that they've imbibed everything that is here. Imagine that. Imagine that. Imagine that. So, once again, this is important to all of us and all that. As I begin to round up, right? As I begin to round up here, okay? So, for example, I was saying, right, what exactly are the challenges? So, what are some of the internal challenges? Here, there are six of them. So, everybody in the chat room, of these six, corruption, bureaucratic inefficiency, lack of transparency and accountability, ethical dilemmas, of these six, if we're going to prioritize two, which of them will it be? If we're going to prioritize two, which of them will it be? Which of them will it be? Right? So, what do you really think is the problem? Is the problem bureaucratic inefficiency? Is it lack of transparency and accountability? Is it ethical dilemmas? I mean, you and I are always reading that book. What's that book? The Transformation of Singapore from Third World to First World. In the lifetime of one of his leaders, they scientifically, as a country, not an organization, not a state, they scientifically moved from being a third world country to becoming the first world country. I remember one time I wanted to go to Singapore, they denied me visa, right? And somebody was telling me there that at some point in time, visa, you didn't even need visa from Nigeria to Singapore. That it was visa free, that you just they stamp your passport when you get there. But as the country improved, as they got better as a country, right, they started even restricting entry into their country. So we all talk about that book. The book is available online, uh, uh, and all. The book is available online from a third world country to a first world, and there are all sorts of what's that thing on YouTube? You can go into YouTube and you can hear the audio version of the book. You can go onto YouTube and you can listen to the audio version of the book. So I don't think, excuse me, I think Nigeria only has two problems. My thoughts, I might be wrong. I think number one is leadership, and number two is the execution of the rule of law. That's all. I think Nigeria only has two problems, right? Only two problems. Yesterday, I was we had something on in what's that thing on fraud management. I had a webinar on fraud management yesterday, and we had somebody from EFCC that was on that call, and he started talking about provisions that have been made in the Nigerian Crime Act and the Nigerian Corruption Act and those kinds of things. So those things exist already. You and I are not about to create them; they exist. The problem is the execution. And that problem is a sub of leadership. Leadership, they are the ones that are meant to drive every other thing. But in as much as you keep having leadership, so maybe we should do, maybe there's a concept called five whys. Why do we have poor leadership? Because after all, one of my friends says that all of us are poor in terms of our abilities. He said because the leadership comes from the people. Am I right? It's the followers that become leaders. So that the problem is with the citizens themselves. After all, they become the leaders of tomorrow. So everything rises and falls on leadership. Maybe it's the process of what's that thing? Maybe it's the election process. Somebody should please give me your thoughts in the chat room. How can we fix leadership? Is it the election process? Right? We already have the right arms of government. I mean, there's no real improvement when it comes to the arms of government that is needed. The Nigeria is brilliantly designed, poorly executed. Did you hear that? Brilliantly designed, poorly executed. The design is great. Is it our constitution that is a problem? I don't think so. I don't think if you fix the constitution, it's going to significantly change anything. I might be wrong. Hey, I'm not Rufai Hosseini or Ruben Abati on Arise TV. So I might not be an expert, but I don't think that. I think what we need is a leader that will execute the rule of law. That's what I think. I think what we need is a leader that will actually um, execute the rule of law. And if we have that, I think we'll solve a lot of our problems. Anyways, here you can see 6 different challenges with regards to public administration. Then they've also now spoken about the external challenges. Okay, economic instability. How can you call? I mean, instability is from the government. Social problems is from the government. Environmental sustainability is the government that can drive it, all these things. Even data and digital challenges. So, and that's a problem. And this is not just a Nigerian problem. This is an African problem. This is a massive African problem. The good thing is that, as I said, when I see these problems, I know that I have a future. I know that I'm going to make a lot of money. I can tell. I know that I have a future because I have a problem solving mindset. Now, how do I go into different sectors of the economy to help them? I found the ways by which I'm going to do it. One of those ways is the use of artificial intelligence. I'm going to speak to any and everybody, animals and ants and whatever, on how to use artificial intelligence to transform public services. And I think the likes of Miwa, the likes of Esther, that's what we need to be thinking about. Because we can't be think. I mean, if we talk about the problem from now till the end of time, it makes no difference. If we talk about the problem between now and the end of time, it makes no difference, right? It makes no difference. What you and I need to do is to be problem solvers. You know, some people specialize in problem description. I'm not really interested in the description of right. I mean, Richard, I agree with you, but I still think that if you get that constitution right, because even are you everything in our existing constitution is not bad. Everything in it is not bad. A lot of things are good in the existing constitution, in our existing laws and statutes. There's so many good things in there, but even the good in the existing one is not being appropriately executed. Why do you then think that if we fix the constitution, it's going to solve all our problems? No, I mean, I disagree. Even if we change the constitution, trust me, right? That constitution is not going to improve by more than 20%. A new constitution is probably going to improve by 20 or 25%. They're going to keep the existing one, that maybe about 60 or 70% of it. So that means inside of the existing one, 60 or 70% is great. Is the will to make a change. Everybody talks about the RSIA report. Maybe you can look for the link for the to the RSIA report. The report was a great report. How many years was it written? Right? Isn't the report more than 10 years old or something? And it's never been executed. It was a great report. There was no form of execution relative to the report. The report was suggesting that they reduce the government agencies and parastatals. What has happened over the last 10 years? The government agencies and parastatals have even increased. I don't think a fix of constitution solves the problem. The constitution needs to be improved. I agree. But I think that that constitution, 50 or 60% of it is great. But even the 50 or 60% that is great, as it has not been appropriately executed. As I said, I'm not a social or political commentator. I'm only sharing my thoughts and the logic behind what it is that I'm saying. So I like this slide. The challenges with public administration, and also some of those challenges are external. But once again, whether it's internal or external, the person who owns the responsibility to solve and to resolve all these things is the government. The government is the owner of the responsibility to solve and to resolve these things. It's the government, right? It's definitely the government. I have a couple of other things here, and as I said, we'll bring this to a close soon, under 30 minutes. So let's look at it, right? Core skills, and I've dealt with this. Everything here is in that place is in that my other slide, right? I mean, if you see the way they still do recruitment in public sector, If you see the way they do onboarding in public sector, if you see the way they do training in public sector, you know that we're still a long way to go, and that is an advantage. For me, that is an advantage. I like it. I like a broke. I like this kind of environment. Maybe I'm a capitalist in my mind, because when the thing is broken, it provides an opportunity. It provides an opportunity. Nigeria is a brilliant place. The whole of Africa is brilliant. I've gone to many countries in Africa. I'm still going to go to all the countries in Africa. All. Before, my plan was to go in there to talk about how to achieve SDGs. Now, I've changed my plan. My plan is to go to all the African countries to show them how to use artificial intelligence to achieve the SDGs. Esther, say you're listening. I have a much more complex goal now. My goal is how to use artificial intelligence to achieve the SDGs for 54 African countries. That's my goal now. I'm not going to go there to just teach them ISO 53001. No, 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 no. Inside of that, I'm going to include artificial intelligence. And that is why if you come here, you will start to see my thinking, everybody. Right? You start to see my thinking. So I put this into ChatGPT, and this is what it gave to me. But it is describing it from a technical perspective. It's describing it from a technical perspective. So if you're here and you don't understand artificial intelligence, you don't know what number one means, you don't know what number two means, you don't know what number three means, you don't know what number five, number six, number seven, then you don't plan to have a long career. Maybe you're tired, maybe your career has come to an end. For me, I think that I'm just starting. And it's purely based on artificial intelligence. I think AI is going to open a brand new world. The European Union just came up with an artificial intelligence document. Please help me check. It came out this year. There's some European Union artificial intelligence document, right? Nigeria has an AI document. So me, I'm not only interested in SDGs or sustainability, I'm interested in the marriage, right? There's a paper that I one of my researchers were working on together. It talks about the inclusion or how to use artificial intelligence to achieve water efficiency for a country. Water efficiency for a country. So I put this into ChatGPT. I said, how is artificial intelligence going to help with with the transformation of public administration? And this is what it gave to me. But it's looking at it from a technical perspective. Okay. Now, so if you're still on this call and you do not have some kind of artificial intelligence plan, I wish you well. I wish you well in your endeavors. Uh, I don't think you're going to be around for an extended period of time tied to your career. You'll be alive and well. You probably do age 100, but I'm talking about when it comes to work in itself, right? So we did this for people who came late. We did this. We did this earlier. We did this earlier today. For the people who came and joined us a bit late, we talked about this. Right? This is the job of the government. The job, I mean, SDG is the job of the state government, it's the job of the local government, it's the job of the federal government. So you can see here, I said the role of government is equal to effectively and efficiently providing public services. That's the role of government. So it's citizens. And those services are inside of these goals. Education is here. Poverty is here. Food is here. Equality is here. Justice is here. Policing is here. Bridges and roads, they are here. Public transport is here. Clean water is here. Affordable accommodation is right here. Great economy, it's here. Life above water and underwater, it is all here. Climate preservation, it is here. This is the job of the state and the federal government. This is their job, right? This is their job. But I'm taking it a step further. How can artificial intelligence help? All right, that's my work. The right, the use, the use and application of AI in the delivery of public services by public MDAs, by public MDAs, right? Right, effective, uh, yeah, the use, adoption, and application of AI in the delivery of both effective and efficient public services by public ministries, departments, um, and agencies in African countries. Yes, this is the landmark work, the use adoption application of AI in the delivery of effective and efficient public services by the public MDAs in different countries. This is a big deal. This, right? And I know that I have billions stuck inside of this thing. It's my lifelong career work to ensure that I drive this conversation. And you too, this is a big deal. Do not be left behind. So I put this into ChatGPT and it started giving me ideas. I put this into ChatGPT and it started giving me ideas. This is modern public administration, right? Okay. I put this into ChatGPT. Give me this. Let me mute that person, please. Let me mute that person, please. Right? So this is it. It says it group poverty and hunger together. And it says what AI can look at the insecurity data to ensure resources reach the most vulnerable. And artificial intelligence can help from an agricultural optimization perspective, precision farming, crop prediction of crop yields, the monitoring of soil and climate conditions. This is how can it help? How can artificial intelligence help with good health and well-being? This is the prediction of diseases and outbreak monitoring, right? Healthcare, AI-powered chatbots and diagnostic tools that help deliver care in underserved areas. Brothers and sisters, this is public. This is public administration reloaded. Public administration, modern, contemporary, 2025 public administration supported by AI. This is how we need to start to think. We're problem solvers. We are problem solvers. I want to solve the problem in Cameroon, in Ghana, in different places. You know, in my organization, we have more than 100 people. We sent this to all of them to come to join us here. I doubt if they're up to more than, I sent this link here to more than 100 people. I doubt, let me see the number of people in the organization. I'm not even sure they're up to 5. And if you tell them to come and speak about what I'm talking about, most of them cannot talk about this. So once again, everybody, you and I, the future is bright for us. Africa is doing very badly. Nigeria is doing very badly with regards to the provision of public services, water, accommodation. But because we have an IT background, now we want to bring artificial intelligence into this conversation. We want to bring artificial intelligence into this conversation. When you say how can you want to do, I mean, and that's why this is good, right? Look at quality education. This this is what ChatGPT has suggested as some of the ways by which artificial intelligence can help the Lagos State, Ogun State ministries, Kano State, Kaduna State ministries of education, right, to ensure that effective and efficient educational services are delivered to the residents of the state and to the citizens of Nigeria. The residents of the state and to the citizens of Nigeria. This is the job of government. Government is meant to be seated, being completely obsessed about this. Look at number 6, everybody. Where can AI come in with regards to clean water and sanitation? Okay, what data do we have with regards to the soil, to the regards to how water can be provided? What is the data that we can leverage, that we can build models around it? How can we predict usage patterns? Because some parts of the state require more water based on population density than others. This is it. This is it. Public administration is equal to SDG achievement. Please write it somewhere. Public administration is equal to SDG achievement at the local, state, and even at the federal or national level. Local, state, federal, or national level. A lot of people in my organization are not here. But if you tell them tomorrow to come and articulate and speak intelligently to a client around this, they will not be able to do it. They were not here. A lot of this message has been sent to the Transformation College community. There are less than 10 people from that entire community on the call. Less than 5 people from my own organization, less than 10 people from the community. But if you ask anybody in that community to come and articulate this thing that I've written here, right? This thing, that how can artificial intelligence help in the delivery of effective and efficient public services, but by public MDAs. Most people cannot even speak intelligently around this. But we've sent this thing to more than 500 people. And I have my own organization of more than 100. I have about 5 people here. Transformation College community of maybe 1,000 people. We have maybe less than 10 that are here. And this is a national need. This is a national need. If you look in here, it talks about affordable and clean energy. How? Because this is the job of government. This is the job of government. Decent work and economic growth is the job of government. Government owns these responsibilities. They can't shift it. They can't give it to somebody else. They cannot throw it away. Right? How are they helping with regards to skill gaps and trends? Esther and I were at some SDG events, and I started to look at some of the data sets that they are providing, and I'm like, this is not objective. This does not look like it's objective. The people are focused on a few projects that they're doing. You know, somebody will say, oh, we're doing a project on water, but water is not the entire SDG. Right? A state government should be looking at the entire 17 and working with the other MDs that contributes to the entire 17. Right? Some people think that SDG achievement is equal to climate action. That's just one portion. That's just about 10% of SDG. The whole of SDG is not equal to climate action. Is that when you talk about sustainability and people say, oh, we're doing sustainability because we're doing climate. I'm like, that's just one area. You look at it, it says if you and I are going to have sustainable cities and communities, these are the kinds of things we're meant to be obsessed about. A training class like this, I should be doing it for commissioners in various states. This kind of conversation that I'm having, I should be having it with the PAMSECs and the commissioners in different states. I should be having it at the national, federal level with different ministers, where we start to see you're aware of what the SDG is. Your ministry, your parastatal, your agencies align to one of those SDGs. But are you putting things in place from an automation and some artificial intelligence perspective that's going to help your state or help the country in itself achieve these things? The police needs AI revolution and transformation. Customs, the same thing. Army, the same thing. It's same thing. NNPC, the same thing. So I want all of you to go away from here today with these key things. You've come to attend a class on public administration, but I'm telling you that modern public administration is beyond just learning Max Weber or what other of those people have said. We're talking about the public administration from a problem-solving perspective. We need to solve local, state, and national problems, right? We need to solve those problems. Everything that we're trying to do in SDG is embedded inside of everything we're trying to do in public administration is embedded inside of SDG. Now, you and I, we need to energize, we need to inculcate, we need to transform public services, right? That is supposedly aligned to SDGs, now using artificial intelligence. Okay. All right. As I said, so there's so many things I cannot go through. They'll share the link. They will share the link, we'll share the slides. The link to when I did all this, I've talked about this. This is typically the content, principles, historical development, who's the CEO, similarities. Of course, I've talked about that, the environmental factors, personnel practices, bureaucracy, reforms. Nigeria has had so many reforms, but those reforms, have they been effective and have they been efficient? Nigeria also has done a lot of indigenization exercises. Right? I'm not sure whether that slide is here. Nigeria has done so much from an indigenization perspective, but those things that we've done, is it working? Are they working as a country? All the things. So this is what people are still thinking that education is. So I can come here and start to tell you Mr. Max Weber, he was the one who said blah blah blah. You can put Max Weber theory into WhatsApp and it will give you all the things you need to know. That's not education in modern day. Education has got to be something that is beyond what ChatGPT can give to you. Why go to pay for expensive schools that will be reading what ChatGPT provides a better answer to? Okay? Max Weber, bureaucracy theory says that what? Career orientation, division of labor, authority hierarchy, formal selection, impersonality. Yeah, we can talk about this. I've talked about these things in the past. But how does this solve a problem? We're focused on skills. That's why we're Transformation College. We're very focused on skills. Skills beyond, skills beyond the skills beyond the what's that thing? Just the acquisition of knowledge. Skills beyond the acquisition of knowledge. Because there's no skill in learning Max Weber. What is the skill here? Nothing. This is at the level of knowledge. Now, oh, managers are career professionals, not owners of the units they manage. Jobs are broken into simple things, into simple something. Position organized in a hierarchy with clear chain of command. How is this going to solve a problem? The curriculum needs to be updated. The curriculum everywhere. Let's look at, I mean, all these theories. We've done all these things, right? Connected government. These are the kinds of things you and I need to be talking about, right? Connected government. We're looking for, our plan is to raise a new generation of leaders, a new generation of professionals, a new generation of public sector experts. That's our plan. A new generation of people that can come in and resolve these problems. But as I said, most people don't think that the entire, I mean, listen to me, everything that the state or federal government is trying to do is inside of SDGs. Everything, everything is inside of SDG. And now you and I have a much better opportunity to also put in, um, to include, what's that thing called? To include artificial intelligence, the concept of federal character, right? Important. How can we use artificial intelligence to ensure that people cannot flout federal character, that people cannot, take advantage of the weaknesses within this concept of federal character? How can we use AI to do that? Okay, even have federal character commission, right? So I mean, Nigeria has done all sorts of reforms, man, but the reforms are not working. They're not significantly working. How can we use artificial intelligence for cervicom? How can we do these things, right? We've gone past indigenization. What's the point of doing indigenization when the lives of the people, it's not, the people are not better off? What's the point? What's the point of doing indigenization when the people are not better off? They're not better off. So what's the point of indigenization if they're not better? You say, oh, you want to take it from foreigners, and then you give it to locals, and then the locals even steal more than the foreigners were taking. So what's the point? Is it indigenization for indigenization's sake? Isn't the idea behind indigenization that it will be better for the people? But as that indigenization, as it really work? What's the point? Either a foreigner has come to take away my resources, or a local has carried away my resources. The person has carried all my resources and has bought an estate in Dubai. What difference does it make? That it's a Nigerian that stole the money, or it is a foreigner that stole it? The money has been stolen. There's no going around that. So some of these things you have to take a different look at them. As I said, one of the big things for me is that education is gone, has changed, and a lot of people have not even realized that. Let's just look at, as I bring this to a close. Let's look for that link. I'm looking for that link. Thank you very much, everyone. Yeah, people will be talking about the Arifael and blah 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 and all those kinds of things. I mean, how does that solve a problem? You can as well just tell the people that all of you go and do or something, right? So interplay of empirical, yes, yes, yes. Thank you very much, Mustafa. I've been looking for the soft copy of the book. I can't find it. Right? So education has changed. Education has changed. Education has significantly changed. So if you go to Harvard, I don't know if you can see my screen. If you go to Harvard, this is what it is, right? This is the curriculum in Harvard for public administration, right? So we can look at it, right? Masters, public administration, okay? Uh, learn more, okay? Masters in public administration. Please download this brochure and share it in the chat room with us, please. Mercy, uh, Edith, download this brochure. What I had, this is where I'm going to, right? So let's see if you're doing this outside of the country. If you go to a school, they said, okay, these are the key areas. You're going to learn about economics and quantitative analysis. You're going to learn about management, leadership, and decision sciences. And you're also going to learn about public ethics and political institutions, right? So they also have a policy area of concentration. Is a problem the development of policy? Which is better? Can somebody answer me in the chat room? Which is better? Poor policy or average policy? Let me put it that way. Average policy and great execution. Average policy and great execution versus excellent policy and poor execution. Everybody tell me which is better, average policy and great execution, or excellent policy and average execution? Which is better? Right? Because sometimes people talk about, oh, you know what, it's about the policy. No, policy is rubbish. Policies, the lack of policy is not why everything has gone wrong. That's not the reason why things have gone wrong. It's not because of the lack of policy. People have policies. Nigerians got policies. There are laws, there are statutes, there's everything. Everything exists. Human rights, security, environmental health, trade finance, science and technology. There are even entities that have been developed already with all these responsibilities. The problem is that those entities that own health at the national level, at the state level, are they doing everything that they're meant to be doing? Are they good stewards of the resources that have been given to them? This is the problem. This is the problem. The problem is not the lack of policy. It's not the lack of constitution. It's not the lack of laws. This is the problem. All right? This indeed is the problem. Okay, that's it for me. So please share the in the chat room. What's that thing called? That document, so that you can look at it, right? But of course, I mean, it's like saying that, oh, I I mean, companies do that, right? So the guys who wrote the books, right, they're called Balance Scorecard. What's their name? Professors Kaplan and Norton. They wrote 5 books, right? Those two professors, they wrote 5 books. The first one was titled Balance Scorecard, and then they started writing. And after 20 or 25 years, they wrote the final book in the series that is called Strategy Execution. They said that and I mean, those are the people that have written the highest number of things when it comes to strategy, the most voluminous documentation in the world when it comes to strategy. The only other person that competes with them is what's that guy? The competitive advantage of Professor Michael Porter. Those are, I mean, when it comes to strategy, everything is inside what those two groups of people have written. And they said that they've seen that organizations can sit in a nice room, come up with a perfect strategy. But the problem is not that they don't have a strategy or the strategy is not perfect. The problem is the execution of the strategy. So the conclusion really is that if you have an average strategy, you're better off with average strategy and great execution than with excellent strategy and average execution. Even you right now, I said everybody here needs to have an AI strategy. Am I right? Everybody, an AI upskilling strategy is one of the things I said here on this call today. Everybody must have some kind of artificial intelligence upskilling strategy. All of us, we must have that. Now, you and I can sit on a call and I can craft out the the perfect strategy for you. I can, but you might not execute it. You're even better off crafting a poor or average strategy and executing that poor one rather than us having a great one. It's like in my secondary school. One of my friends, he will put a Bible under his pillow every day, but he never read it. He never read the Bible, but he had a Bible under his pillow. What is the point of having a Bible if you're not going to read it? What is the point of reading it if you're not going to adhere to it? Right. Ladies and gentlemen, that's it. I want to hear from everybody. All right. Conclusion for me today. If you cannot remember anything that I have said, if you forget everything that I have said today, there's one thing you should not forget. So everybody, while I round up, please, I want us to finish in exactly 10 minutes. Please give me your thoughts in the chat room. Everybody, please, I beg of you, give me your feedback. What's your big takeaway today? All right. So public administration, this is on the 26th of April 2025. We said public administration, right? Can as well just go and copy it. Everybody, give me feedback. Um, what did you learn here today? Quickly, 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 everybody. I beg of you, give me feedback. What's your big takeaway? I just want to know what your takeaway is. What have you learned? What have you picked up from this session today? Everybody, quick, 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 in the chat room. And I mean everybody. Please, I beg of you. Everybody, tell me, what's your big takeaway? Uh, I'm looking at a lot of people that are just keep telling me about cybersecurity. Cybersecurity is very important, but trust me, cybersecurity is not more important than artificial intelligence. If you had to devote yourself to something, devote yourself to artificial intelligence. Brothers and sisters, devote yourself to that. You will come back and say thank you to me. You will come back and you will say thank you to me. Okay? Quickly, I want to hear from everybody as we bring this class to a beautiful close today. I want to hear from everybody as we bring this class to a beautiful close today. Everybody in the chat room, please. Okay. Okay. Responsibilities of the government. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Please, I hope you're writing. I just want feedback. Richard, everybody, quickly just tell me your thoughts as we bring this class to a beautiful close today. But you need to go back to the session that I had in the past. I have had a session in the past. It's available online. So they will share the link. Either as that link being shared with everybody so that they can go back because there's no point in me just coming to teach everything that I've taught in the past here. I'm hoping that you're inspired. I'm hoping you're inspired to go get things done. Become somebody that gets things done. I want to become somebody that gets things done. All right. And I definitely need to ensure that I make a lot of money while at it. Realize that our future is bright collectively in this class. Your future is bright. I just hope you will take the things that I have said today into keen consideration. But your future is really bright. Your future is blindingly bright. But you need to action the things that I have said inside of this class today. And so I wanted to read from everybody. What's your big takeaway? Good. Thank you very much, Edith. Richard, AI is the future. Yes, Miwa. Yes. All right. Absolutely. Deal. I mean, you and I are in the business of education. I mean, Edith, we're in the business of education, right? Um, yeah. Okay. So, our government needs to embrace AI. Right. Right. Thank you very much. I mean, as it is. So it's great, everybody. Governor, thank you very much. That's what public administration is about, right? And you and I need to ensure that water provisioning, electricity provisioning. You can't do AI and go wrong. Mr. Sonny is here. I'm telling you, Sonny, you can't do AI and go wrong. And everything is not technical. All right. Edith will put the what's that thing? Edith, where was I that I was talking about your AI course? You should put there's a place in AI for all of us, whether we're technical or we're not. There is a place for you and I, all of us, AI in your field. Okay. AI in your field in your industry, right? So yeah, AI for problem solving, artificial intelligence for solving problems, AI for problem solving, AI for AI for problem solving, AI for solution provisioning, right? AI for um, effectiveness and efficiency, AI for uh, uh, national transformation. I mean, AI for uh, accelerated improvement in various areas, right? Our government can only transform public services if they start to think along these lines. Everybody, if you forget everything that I've said today, please look on my screen, right? Right? Look on my screen. If you forget everything that I have said today, start to think along these lines. Start to think along these lines. Lecturers and teachers and trainers cannot come to start to read slides to people. The people can get even better slides from AI. They can go to ChatGPT and even and prompt it appropriately, and they can get better slides. So trainers and lecturers and teachers need to bring in their experience. That's what makes them different. The field of education has significantly changed. Okay, the field of education has significantly changed. If I go to Harvard and what the lecturer is telling me, I can see it on ChatGPT, then what's the point? So you see that lecturers will not be able to work any longer because some of the lecturers, they only have research and lecturing experience. They don't have field experience. Once again, this is an opportunity, everybody. This is an opportunity. This is an opportunity. It's an opportunity for you and I to go in and transform education. Thank you very much, everyone. Thank you for your time. Thank you to um all the people that I had to bring in into this. So thank you very much, Miwa, for taking out of your time. I know usually you don't attend these things, but thank you, Covenant. Thank you very much, Elizabeth. Please take these things into keen consideration. Facial, thank you, Kaima. Right? That is why the Zoho AI capabilities that we just bought. Zoho has something called ZIA, ZIA. Is very important. Mustafa, you're probably one of the people that should get the highest value from this session because you're seated in Abuja. And this is how you need to speak to the clients. This is how you need to think. This is how you need to approach them. Okay. Benga, thank you for being here. There's a lot of work that you and I have to do when it comes to this. Femi, as usual. Femi, are you here? You can see that nobody from the entire Ghana team is here, right? Nobody, right? Femi, are you here? Nobody from the entire Ghana team is here. How are they going to help to transform the Ghana as a country? Rashid, thank you very much. Richard, thank you very much. Shuaib, thank you. Sunny, and then Timmy, thank you very much, everyone. Thank you very much. God bless you. Have a great remaining part of your weekend as it is. Somebody's got a question? Please quickly go ahead. Anybody that has a question? Richard, go ahead, please.
Hello, sir. Thank you so much, sir.
Hmm?
Thank you
Okay.
so very much for your time today. I've really learned a lot about the SDG goals, about leveraging on AI. Then before I proceed, I would like to use this medium to wish you belated birthday. May the Lord perfect
Thank
all
you.
that concerns you, sir.
Amen.
We are really
Amen.
grateful
Thank
for
you.
your gift, for creating time for us, and God will continue to take you places, sir.
Amen.
And the
Amen.
question I
Thank you,
have is
Richard.
just one, though I have a lot of questions, but because of our time, is leveraging on AI. For instance, how do FMCG companies in Nigeria, for instance, how can we leverage on using AI? Because the place of human labor cannot be overemphasized, because many of these manufacturing plants, we do use there are a lot of guys that are handy, that do the work that machine can do. So how can we employ AI to help out in this case? That's the question, sir. Thank you.
Okay, can you see my screen? Thank you very much.
Yes, perfect.
How can manufacturing companies in Nigeria leverage AI for automating tasks human, that require extensive, that require extensive human uh, effort and expertise. Does that answer it? Right? I think this describes the question, right? This describes the
Yeah,
question.
perfectly.
How can manufacturing that require extensive human manual effort and expertise, right? Uh, how can food, let me even just, right? Manufacturing companies. So let us see. Okay. So I mean, on day one, right? So um, let me show you something. What's that, right? Um, robots, uh, robots in um uh national port operation, right? There was a video I was watching. I was talking about how robots are being used when it comes to ports. I mean, in lifting, carrying stuff, putting them in the right place, like that. You can go check out something like that. So so look at this, right? So maybe you can see my screen, right? So a lot of things that are meant to be human carried, a lot of those things, they moved them to robots. You can see here things like this, where the people are focused on they're using their computer to control the robots, and the robot is doing everything. You can also go and check robots, right? In in Amazon uh warehouses. And I have a friend that used to work for Amazon. He moved to a bank now in the US. And you Yes, and he'll tell you about the use of robots in their warehouses. I think when it comes to what you're asking, I think it is endless. So here, I always say you need to start small. So for example, it's giving you ideas here. And that's also, the AI is important, but also natural sense is also important, everybody. AI is important, but natural sense is also extremely important. So you and I also need natural sense, right? So it starts to tell you that okay, this is a possibility. It doesn't mean that you must follow this on day one. It starts to give you some some ideas. So the idea is that you start to explore what these ideas are. Here it's told you about 6 areas. Maybe you only want to start with one, right? The easiest one to do. And then you start to look at how AI has transformed that portion of the entire supply chain or the manufacturing chain in itself. So my advice is to start small and to leverage a GPT around some of these things. So, we could have also asked a question that says that, what, with regards to mixing, we can say with regards to mixing ingredients to make food or to make drugs in a predominantly non-automated environment, right? How can uh how can AI how can AI help? Right? So you can start to think about things like that. How can AI help with regards to mixing ingredients to make food to make drugs in a predominantly non-automated manufacturing environment, and it starts to give you why is it violating? So their wahala is too much, right? So it says here, okay, like many startups in developing where AI can play a crucial role, blah blah blah. It starts to give you ideas. So you've got to explore it. You've got to explore it. You've got to explore it. Are we good? You've got to explore it, right? But I mean, that's why. So when you start to talk about robots, a lot of people don't even know how robots work. They don't know what they're going to do to get robots and things like that. Thank you very much, Richard. Yes, absolutely. Once again, thank you, everyone. Thank you, thank you, thank you. God bless you. Have a great weekend. I think our very last class for this semester is next week. Edith, you said the course again is what? What are we doing next week?
Research methodology.
So, I mean, I'm going to work with you to ensure that we are also going to really, so you should also work with Benga and all that to give us ideas around how to do, should I say, let's just turn it into the transformation of research, right? The transformation of research using artificial intelligence, right? So if I come to my AI here and I say case studies, right? And I've seen a lot of that case studies of where AI has been used, or where AI has been effectively used. Imagine, to replace human researchers. I can even, I mean, I won't get the chance. I would have loved to teach the class myself, right? All right. So you can see case studies, actual case studies where artificial intelligence has been used to replace university researchers, to replace researchers in organizations, and then you can start to ask specific questions. Now, when it comes to this phase of research, how can artificial intelligence help? When it comes to data gathering, when it comes to field work, when it comes to data aggregation, that entire chain of research activities, how can artificial intelligence help specifically? You can start to look at things like that. These are not the days where you come into class and you start to show the students what's that thing called? You start to read to them. That time is gone. Education has changed. Education has moved on, right? Because the people have artificial intelligence. So why are you trying to read to them? Right? What is the new thing? So there's so many. What's the name of Quillbots and a couple of other tools that are used for what did they call it, for doing research. So within that, on that day, next week Saturday, we really should advertise and put it out, and then the transformation of research, whether it is for companies, whether it is for universities. How can you transform research, that research methodology that people talk about? What is the interpretation of research methodology using artificial intelligence in modern day? From real thinking that people need to put to these things. Thank you very much. Over to you, Edith and Mercy. Thank you. God bless you all.
All right, thank you very much, Doc.
It's been very interactive and educative and informative, and I believe everybody on the call uh, can attest to this. We've learned quite a lot, and I see all the responses in the chat room as to what we've all learned, and that's good. Those are good responses. And so thank you very much. Your classes, Doc, is always one that we look forward to. So can we please appreciate Doctor in the chat room with a round of applause? All right, let's have it come in. Put in your appreciation in the chat room as we bring the class to a successful and beautiful close this afternoon. And so we want to encourage everyone, get ready for next weekend's class. Okay, there would be a lot of AI tools and research that will be explored, and lots more. Let me not preempt the class. I just want you all to be in class next week, Saturday, and let's have a wonderful time in class as always. So do have yourself a wonderful, wonderful weekend.
In
Stay happy.
addition, ma'am.
Yeah, Mercy, go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so please, I'm sorry to interrupt, and
Mhm.
I just want to say that we've been having tests going on, and some of us have taken few and some have not taken up to date. So please, I implore everybody to engage in your test. After this test session, we will not attend to anything about test anymore. So please, if you are yet to do your test, please go ahead and do them. And if you are doing it late, please send me a screenshot. That's why I'm requesting for a screenshot. That's if you are doing it late. And if you are doing it as at when due, you do not need to send me any form of screenshot. Thank you. That's all I have to say.
All right, thank you for that information. And so we've come to the end of our class today. Wishing everyone a very beautiful weekend. Stay happy and stay blessed. See you next weekend. Bye for now.
In the chat room, I put the 5 books by Kaplan and Norton. Who was asking? Somebody was asking. The 5 books. Once again, I just went straight into ChatGPT and he gave it to me. So hey. All right, guys.